Day 1, you wake up in East London, September 1940. Population of the city, 8.6 million. More people in this one city than in the entire country of Sweden. You live in a 2-up, 2-down terrace house. Shared wall on both sides. Outdoor toilet in the yard. 6 people, 3 generations, 1 roof. Nothing unusual about that here. You step outside. The street looks ordinary. It won't stay that way. At 4:43 that afternoon, the sirens start. A rising, falling wail that doesn't stop for 3 minutes. You've heard it in drills. You've never heard it mean it. 348 German bombers cross the coast, 617 fighters behind them. This is the first daylight raid on the city in this war. You look up and the sky is full of them, a formation stretching horizon to horizon, and for a moment you just stand there because your brain genuinely cannot process the scale of what it's looking at. You don't have a proper shelter. Not yet. You go under the stairs. Your mother says it's the strongest part of the house. Nobody actually knows if that's true. It's just what people say. The bombs fall 2 miles away on the docks. You feel it in your chest before you hear it. A pressure wave through your ribs, then the sound arrives half a second later. 448 people die that night. It's the first of what will become 57 consecutive nights. Nobody in London knows that number yet. If they did, some of them might not have gotten up the next morning. Day 2. An Anderson shelter arrives, delivered on a cart, 6 curved sheets of corrugated steel, a shovel, and instructions. You dig the hole yourself, 4 feet deep, in the back garden, between the cabbages and the outhouse. It takes you and your father most of the day. When it's done, it holds 4 people if nobody moves. You cover it with the dugout earth and plant vegetables on top because the government tells you to, because food is about to matter more than you think. Breakfast is the last of the real butter. Rationing started back in January, but it's tightening every month now. 4 ounces of bacon, 2 of tea, 8 of sugar, per person, per week. You've started calculating meals down to the ounce without meaning to. Your mother trades sugar coupons with the woman next door for extra cheese. Everyone on the street runs a quiet economy of favors that the ration book was never built to allow, and everyone pretends not to notice everyone else doing it. That night, the sirens go again. Same time, almost to the minute. You go straight to the Anderson shelter this time. Damp steel walls, a paraffin lamp. Your little sister brings her doll, refuses to leave it behind, ever, not once, for the rest of the war. You hear the drone of engines overhead, a specific pitch, unsynchronized, that everyone on the street has already learned to recognize from a British plane. Nobody has to tell you which is which anymore. You just know now. Day 3. You go to work. The factory makes aircraft parts now. It made kitchen fittings 18 months ago. Nearly every factory in the city has been converted to something the war needs. You work a lathe you were trained on in 11 days. The government needed workers fast, and skill building slow was a luxury nobody had. Women make up nearly half the floor now, doing jobs that were men's jobs a year ago, and nobody's arguing about it anymore because the aircraft still need to get built whether anyone approves or not. Lunch is a meat pie with barely any meat in it, and nobody comments because commenting has stopped being interesting. Word comes through the factory floor at midday. A bomb hit a shelter 3 streets from where you live. Direct hit, everyone inside. You don't know if anyone you know was in it. You won't know until you get home. You keep working because the parts still need finishing, and because there is genuinely nothing else useful you can do about it from here. Day 4. You go to the underground station in the evening, not to travel, to sleep. The government didn't want people doing this at first, tried to stop it, gave up. Now there are bunk beds built into some platforms. You pay a penny for a ticket you don't intend to use for travel, lie down on a thin mattress 18 inches from the next family, and try to sleep to the sound of trains still running 8 feet away because London has decided that public transport doesn't stop for the Luftwaffe. You've learned the rhythms. A double boom close together is often anti-aircraft fire, not bombs. A long descending whistle means it's already past you and hit somewhere else, which is a strange kind of relief that arrives at someone else's expense. A silence after a whistle stops is the one that makes people go still and count under their breath. Day 5. This is the night the fire spreads. Incendiary bombs first, thousands of them. Small enough that a man with a bucket of sand can smother one before it catches. But there are too many of them tonight. More than the fire watchers on the rooftops can reach. And one catches, then a beam, then a roof. St. Paul's Cathedral survives, famously, deliberately, because Churchill has ordered it protected at all costs. The buildings around it do not get the same order. Whole streets you've walked your entire life are simply gone by morning, not damaged. Gone, replaced by rubble and the specific smell of wet ash that doesn't leave your clothes for days. You help pull a woman from a collapsed house 2 streets over. She's not hurt badly. Her neighbor, 3 doors down, doesn't make it. You didn't know her well. You knew her well enough. The rescue workers move to the next street before you've fully processed what just happened. Because there isn't time to process it, there's only the next collapsed house. Day 6. Fire watching duty. Every street organizes its own rota now, ordinary people on rooftops through the night with stirrup pumps and buckets, watching for incendiaries before they take hold. You take your turn. It is cold, and it is boring, and then for 11 minutes, it is the single most important thing you have ever done in your life. And then it is boring again. That's most of the war, you're starting to realize. Long stretches of nothing, then sudden intense minutes that reorganize everything. The government pays you nothing for this. You do it anyway. So does everyone on the street. A woman 3 doors down, 71 years old, has been doing this every third night for 2 months, and when someone suggests she stop, she looks at them like they have suggested something faintly insulting. Day 7. The heaviest raid yet comes on the night of the 29th. Later, people will call it the Second Great Fire of London, because the destruction visually echoes the fire of 1666, except this time it was deliberate, and this time it came from the sky. Over 100,000 incendiary bombs. The Guildhall burns. 8 Wren churches burn. You watch the sky over the city turn the color of a furnace from 2 miles away. And you understand, standing in your garden at 2 in the morning, that whatever this city was before tonight, it will not entirely be that thing again. You're teleported back. Heat works. Lights turn on without a warning first. Nobody has checked the sky in your direction tonight for engines that don't sound like yours. It's a kind of luxury you didn't know you were living inside of. Being ordinary, being unremarkable, having a night pass without anyone needing to remember which whistle meant what. They rebuilt the city. They always call it resilience. It wasn't resilience. It was 8.6 million people with nowhere else to go, doing the only thing available to them, which was to survive until morning, and then do it again the next night. And the night after that, 57 times, until one morning it simply stopped, and nobody had told them in advance which morning that would be.